Hello everybody and welcome back to I Was the Teenage Exocolonist. After a lot of talking last time, we're back again. And we're going to be focusing on still raising friendship and all that jazz. But we're going to try at least to get to Virtunalia today. Maybe, we'll see. I'm going to start with going outside like I wanted to earlier. We need to gather some stuff. Most likely at the ridge, because that's going to be the best items that we can get right now. So let's go there. We can't get eggs from there, but... Oh, the hunting! You report to Expeditions 10 to find not just Utopia, but Security Chief Rhett and Vase as well. I just can't spare any more of my people, Utopia is explaining to them. You've already pulled almost all the foragers, and we're already running skint crews in the ridges as is. There's one person you can spare, Rhett replies, turning to face you. Hello, Yabby. How'd you like to transfer onto one of my hunting parties? Utopia tells me you're one of her best explorers. We could use someone like you. He indicates to Vase. I need someone who can keep up with this one. Vase puffs his chest out proudly. I'm only doing this for the friendship. Sure, I'd love to hunt. Rhett nods. Good, I'm glad to hear that, he says, then turns to Vase. But first, I need to make sure you know the basics. Vase, bring out the Vricky. Vase goes over to a tent and brings back the Vricky on a long chain. It's sprightly and bright-eyed, and some might even say cute. It comes up nearly to your waist. Vase looks proud of his duty as a monster bearer. Caught this one myself, Rhett tells you. Oh, wrong voice. Caught this one myself, Rhett tells you. I'm adding it to the training zoo, so don't kill it, but feel free to give it a few pokes. Then tell me, what are its weaknesses, its strengths? How would you defeat it in a fight? I can analyze the beast. I'll analyze the wee beastie. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, goodness. Good enough. You study the creature for a long time. It looks nervous, skittering from side to side and making a clicking noise. You throw a stick at it, and it leaps up and grabs it in its mandibles. It angrily tears it in half, then glares at you. You think about your own pet, Wiggles. This one is larger and fungus-like, maybe even close to the end of the mobile part of their life cycle. You know that one day all Vrickies must take root and become nurse trees for the next generation. You rattle off some other facts you've learned from playing with Wiggles, and Rhett nods. Good, Rhett says. Let's see if you're as good at hunting these as you are at identifying them. Come join the hunting squad next month, and we'll see how you do in the swamps. Sir, yes, sir. Only for Vase. We'll do it once for Vase. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything out here anyway, because I'm just grabbing stuff. Sim still doesn't have anything new to say. Sadness. I did get a good amount of strange devices. Maybe we don't need to. We'll see, we'll see. We'll see how we feel. It's still only the beginning of the year. Where's everyone standing at? 83, 82, 97, 95, 84, 83, 51, 52, 49. Alright, Vase is a little low. I guess we will go hunting. But probably only once. Just for that friendship. Hey, I bet you're happy I'm over here now. Oh, and we can get our pet. We definitely need to do that. You look down at the drone rifle in your hands. This is the big leagues. Finally, you're going to get out there and take the fight to the enemy. No messing around out there, Security Chief Rhett says. These animals are dangerous. They want to kill you, probably as much as you want to kill them. Your job is to get to them first. Utopia sighs. And by no messing around, he means don't you go taking risks, she says. As head of expedition, she's technically in charge of you in the field, though Rhett is the one who molded you for this. There'll always be animals out there, but you're a lot harder to replace. And if you take down anything edible, she adds, tag it for reclamation so we can bring it back to the colony. Vase is practically humming with excitement beside you. Rhett pairs you up to head out together, and Vase looks skeptical. But sir, he says, shouldn't Yabby stay back? It's pretty dangerous where I'll be going. They might get hurt. Rhett shakes his head. You two are a good match, he insists. I want you to watch each other's backs out there. Stay within transceiver range of each other at all times. You might not always be able to be reached near the colony or Utopia, but you'll have each other. Never engage the enemy alone. We'll make a great team, right, Face? Rhett smiles and claps you both on the shoulder. Good. Teamwork is the key here. Teamwork. You go to high-five Vase, and he stares at you like you're a hover snake. Eventually his shoulders drops and he raises his hand. You finish the high-five. Rhett takes off on his glider, and Vase turns to you. I guess we'll make the best of it, Vase says. I'm more of a lone wolf, but you're lucky. You're going to learn so much from me. The Sebequia swamps are especially dangerous, Utopia says. Something in the air makes the beasties here all kinds of fickle. Could be the storms, but normally docile creatures are a lot more aggressive. She bites her lip. And to be perfectly straight with you, there are some darn scary things out there in the swamps. I don't much love that we're sending you kids out into a little war zone, she says. I've been to the swamps before all this war business, and it's a beautiful place even if it is real spooky. Hurts my heart to see soldiers tromping all over it. She summons a smile. But I know teenagers can be just as capable as adults when it comes to surveying and hunting, she says. You've got faster reflexes and a stronger stamina than a lot of these old codgers. Just try not to take stupid risks out there, okay? Promise your honorary auntie? Vase scoffs. You're not my aunt, he mutters, and I don't need a coward telling me what I'm capable of. Alright, Vase, she just was telling us to be careful. You come across a grouchy, sick manticore. It's lost half its flowering mane. It's all bare and mangy looking. It wobbles back and forth on its pointed feet, its growls interrupted by the occasional cough. Despite how fragile it looks, it still bares its teeth at you and lowers its head like it still wants to fight. Easy kill, Face mutters beside you, raising his drone rifle. Attack it. I'm sorry. There we go. For an old sick manticore, the beast puts up a surprising amount of fight. Eventually you manage to bring it down, but it's a close call. Vase insists you pose for a selfie with your trophy. Ugh. Okay, here's my Unisar, so I'm gonna do a few things around here, and then we'll probably just leave because I don't want to run out of energy too soon. You're creeping through the forest with Vase when he holds up his fist to signal to you to stop. He points to his eyes, and then through a stand of underbush to a balneal sitting in the middle of a shallow bog. As you're watching, the enormous semi-aquatic Xeno slowly dips its head and skims the top of the bog, filtering the murky water through its baleen before spurting the rest from its blowhole. Vase raises his rifle. This'll be an easy one. Drive it into the sticky muck sand or attack it outright? Let's see about driving it. I want to see what this is. Good enough. You harass the balneal, slowly forcing it into the muck sand pit where it gets stuck. From there, it's easy pickings to dispatch the slow, peaceful creature. It groans and sinks into the muck. They're inedible, but their skin could potentially be used as a building material, and their blubber could maybe be burned as a fuel source. I'll harvest it. Oh, okay, that was not as good as I thought. I forgot. The swamp is flooded here, and the water has risen almost completely to cover the trees. The islands you make your way across are actually the tops of giant mushroom-topped trees, barely rising out of the marsh. The water is clearer than usual, so you can see down through the underwater canopy to the jungle beneath the surface. You think it's just marvelous to peer down in the underwater forest, but Vase is antsy and looking for something to fight. He scouts on ahead. Ooh, muck waters! Fight them! In their clumsiness, the muckwalkers seem to have more likely to crush or drown you than actually eat you. Assuming that's what they're trying to do, it's hard to tell. You kill one and the others slither off. Vase shows up just as you finish it off. Oh, he pouts. You have all the fun. I almost got murdered, Vase. There's a different variety of bushbub here in the swamps, slimy, smooth-featured, and gloopy, like the rest of the foliage. They seem just as slow, but suspiciously intelligent as their dry biome cousins. You come across one of their little shrines and find their well-worn paths in the loamy soil. While you're inspecting the shrine, you hear a blurberling, groaning noise, and Vase smacks you with the butt of his rifle to get your attention. Barreling down at you from different directions on the path are two goop-faced bushbub sentries, calling out for each other as if they'd been laying in wait. They attack! You kill one and the others run off. Well, sort of. You've never seen an animal move quite like this, like an ambulatory sack of oatmeal. Analyze the corpse? Vase sighs as you kneel to take a closer look at the goopy bushbub. This must be some subspecies of bushbub that doesn't appear in your Hollow Palms bestiary. Its rock-like skin is much thinner and slimy, and its branches don't look like they've ever had leaves on them. You cut it open and its organs just don't make any sense. They're just jumbled in there willy-nilly. You can't even figure out how this creature would digest food. Maybe it's a genetic abomination, but there were two of them. Ooh, extra card draw. Alright, let's go get our pet, and then we'll leave. It's getting late, and you and Vase should be heading home soon. Then you spot it. There on a plateau half a click away, glittering in a beam of blue evening sunlight, a unisaur. You pull out your holoculars. This one has a particularly beautiful coloring, a pale bluish-white mane. The last rays of sunlight shimmer through its rainbow mane as it paws the ground and sniffs the air. You're drawn to its terrible beauty. The question is, when did it last eat? Try to get closer. There we go. Ooh. Vase watches you, expecting something bad to happen. You approach very, very slowly, pausing for a few moments at a time to get used to your scent. It takes you almost an hour to work your way up the plateau, but when you do, the unisaur bows, seeming to accept you. What do? Capture it. This beautiful wild beast is far from tame, and you wonder if it is the right thing to do. But you know if it was Vase's choice, he would just kill it. And surely this is more merciful. You have a moment where you look it in the eye and see intelligence. Murderous intelligence. But it actually follows you down the slope without any trouble at all. You get the sense that it's chosen you, or at least it's curious enough about you to want to learn more about you. You radio your dad to let him know you're bringing home a unisaur. A unisaur? He chuckles. No idea what we're gonna do with one of those, but we'll figure it out.
It sure looks like it trusts you, he continues. Make sure you come by Geophonics to keep that bond up. We could use a hand with the other animals, too. I will.
Oh, no, wait. I meant to go home. Alright, it looks like we are going to relax, just because that way we can relax in the other place and actually get some friendship up with our pet. You cross paths with Vase in the garrison.
Yabby, he hails you. Just the person I wanted to see. Come with me.
Vase leads you through the labyrinth corridors of the garrison to where the soldiers are housed. Most of the people who arrived on the Helio have moved into colony housing and their rooms converted to storage, but it's not surprising to learn that Vase is one of the holdouts. Vase's room is humble, far from utilitarian. As the motion sensor lights flicker on, the first thing you notice is that it's full of space travel paraphernalia, star charts, ship schematics, flight plans, and the like. A hologram of a small personal class spaceship hovers in the corner. As you gawk, Vase shoves your shoulder lightly and moves into the room.
It's too bloody noisy out there on the floor, he says, and I wanted to ask you something. Have you ever wanted to just leave? He starts, giving you a thoughtful look. You know, to get away from all this terrestrial bullshit and return to the skies, where we were born?
Nearly constantly.
Vase laughs humorously. Yeah, of course. I knew you were one of the smart ones, he says. This colony, this planet, it's too small. It's just... Vase continues, looking around the room. Can't help but feel like space is where I belong. I've always wanted to be a spaceship pilot more than a soldier.
It suits you.
Hell yeah, it does, Vase replies. I don't want to be a soldier for the rest of my life, that's for sure. Not on this shithole of a planet. Protecting people who don't even want me to be here? Pass. He shakes his head. Nah, space is where it's at.
Oh, I haven't gotten this one in a while.
This colony just feels a little small for someone of my caliber, he says, looking around his cluttered room. I miss Zero-G, and knowing that only a thin skin of metal and your own wits protect you from the vacuum of space. When we came through the wormhole, when our bridge was destroyed and everyone thought we were going to die, in that moment, everyone on that ship was one cohesive organism, and we were going to live or die on the strength of those bonds, of our training, he says. It was an adrenaline rush that nothing could ever match. Anyway, I was thinking, I want to return to space in my own spacecraft, Vase says, fiddling on the with the dials on the hollow projection of the ship so that it flickers. Just a little one, enough room for 2 people and some cargo. He looks at you. I'll need a second in command, he continues. Someone to compliment me, someone who I know is going to have my back.
I don't want to be anyone's sidekick. I'm sorry, Vase.
Don't think of it like being a sidekick, Vase says with a little smile. Think of it as getting a front row seat to adventure.
Vase's eyes dart all over the wall of his bunk, where you can see a few personal photos intersped along with spaceship stuff.
Nothing's keeping me here anyway, he says. My mom split when I was a baby, for all the good it did her being stuck on the same spaceship with us, pretending I didn't exist, and my dad died, about 2 years before we came through the wormhole.
That sucks.
Vase snorts. Not really, he sneers. My dad was a mediocre soldier with authority issues. He liked to fight and he wasn't smart enough to do it right, and it got his ass bounced from the program and put in the civilian roster.
From the tone of Vase's voice, being called a civilian is probably the worst punishment he could imagine.
Turns out resisting authority was the only thing keeping the shithead together. He filled the vacuum with drinking and trying to knock me around, till he couldn't even do that because I moved into the barracks as soon as they'd let me. Eventually the old man got into a fight he couldn't win, Vase says, shrugging. Fell down a bunch of stairs, I guess.
Vase runs his hand through the hollow projection thoughtfully.
It's bloody weird. In my earliest memories, I remember idolizing him for being tough. Then I spent my childhood hating him, and the rest of my life pitying him for what a goddamn weakling he was.
He puts his hands down and flicks off the hollow projection.
That's why I want to go to space, he says. I don't want to end up like my sad old man, fighting and drinking until it all gets to be too much, and I sodding well snap. I just want to make my own name for myself, in the stars.
It's always interesting to hear that from him. It's something that you really wouldn't expect from him at all. That he wants to go out and be in space again when he's so angry and possessive over the planet at the same time. 56, not bad, not bad. Rex! You're looking for Rex by the construction site, but Rex finds you first. Tackle hug! You turn to the source of the yell. Rex is barreling towards you, arms outstretched. You have about 2 seconds to decide how to react. Bear hug! You stand your ground and throw your arms wide. Rex almost knocks you off your feet with the force of his hug, but his strong arms don't let you fall. He smells so good, like sweat and dust and sunshine. I'm always happy to see you, Yabby, Rex says, squeezing you lightly. You think you're starting to understand this strange Helio boy and his love of hugs. So, Rex asks, crossing his arms, were you looking for me? What you need? Let's do something fun. Rex tilts his head. Like what? You want to skip work and hang out? Rex looks torn. Aw, man, he groans. Normally, yes, for sure, but I'm actually super stoked to work on the build today. He jerks his thumb towards the construction project behind him. If you want, you can come see what we're working on. Rex takes you for a tour of the construction site. He is great company, and basking in his excitement is a pleasant way to spend an afternoon. When you wave goodbye to him so he can get back to work, you feel a little bit lighter. Aw, yeah. Alright, let's see. Let's do... Should I relax? I want my pet, but we can go in and get her at any time, so we'll worry about that later. Let's do... How about 2 things of engineering and then 1 thing with Rex? Yeah, we gotta do some engineering if we want to get the last pet. Let's see. Repair robots. Security Chief Rhett has brought one of the sentry turrets for repair. The damn things are jammed again, he exclaims, exasperated. They turn on, but instead of firing, they just make a loud buzzing noise. He flicks the turret on and the room is filled with a high-pitched clunking squeal. You wince and cover your ears. It's annoying, but it's not very effective, he shouts over the din. Can you make them kill things again? With bullets, not with noise. I can. Working on the turrets is a bit of trial and error, but you figure it out. You fix the jam one, grease the rest, and adjust their programming so they don't shoot quite so fast. After a few years out in the elements, they're getting some wear and tear, and old machines need to be operated more delicately. You suggest that Rhett requisition some crews to build shelters for the turrets. Rhett is impressed by your handiwork and transfers you a few extra kudos. Nice! I like money. There we go. Nice. Oh, more people to talk to. Oh, Anemone. You were supposed to meet Nemi for lunch, but she didn't show up. You head to the garrison to see if you could find her. You spot Nemi's shock of red hair over by the close-range fighting ring. As you approach, she finishes a flurry of blows with a roundhouse kick that almost knocks the training dummy's head clear off. Ki-ya! Nemi roars, echoing off the vaulted ceiling of the garrison. Nemi steps back from the ring and pulls up the bottom of her shirt to wipe her face, flashing you a glimpse of her muscular stomach and blue-green scaling that dances over her ribcage and down her hips. Her skin shines with sweat under the harsh lights. You catch her eye and she shoots you a smile, as quick and bright as the sunlight glinting off the metal roof before it disappears behind her usual bleak expression. She jogs over to you. What are you doing here, Yabby? She brings up the time on her holopalm and her eyes go wide. Oh shit! We were supposed to eat lunch together today! I'm sorry! It's okay, you were busy. Yeah, but that's no excuse, Nemi replies seriously. I should have been more aware. Nemi grabs her water bottle and drinks from it, then pours the rest over her head and flicks the water off through her shaved side. We can still go get some chow if you want, she says. Just give me a sec. Nemi pulls an oversized sports ball sweater over her workout clothes, her thumbs popping through the holes in the worn into the cuffs. The lettering on the back reads kombucha. As you exit the garrison, you're stopped by a few other soldiers who seem to all want to give Nemi a high five or tell her about their days. Even though she's clearly exhausted, she musters up a few heartening words for each of them. They all know I'm dating Vase, she says apologetically, when you finally emerge into the sunlight. It's weird. All of a sudden, I'm like a hero to them, and I haven't even done anything yet. I train every day, though, probably like 6 or 8 hours, she says, rubbing her shoulder and stretching out as she walks. It feels good to work hard, like it just wipes out all the bad thoughts, anything that's bothering me. She makes an exploding motion with one hand. It just goes away. Poof. I can't afford to lose my focus, Nemi says solemnly. I can't let myself get distracted. If I do that and someone dies because of it, null it, man, she says, shaking her head. The thought of it keeps me up at night. Sometimes I just get up and run around the colony until I'm too tired to stand. No one else is gonna die on my watch. You understand, right? She asks, turning to you. You work harder than anyone. How do you do it? What are you fighting for, Yabby? For the future of the colony. Nemi nods in agreement. Me too, she says. When it comes down to it, that's all that matters. And Tang wants to talk to us. You bump into Tangent after a routine checkup in medbay. Yabby, could you wait a moment? I'm almost done. Let's walk out together. Dr. Instance gives you a curious look as Tang hurries to catch up with you, but goes back to her work. You wonder if Tang needs something from you, or just wants to hang out. Lately, it seems like she has less time for her friends, preferring to work late at the lab. Maybe she's lonely. Nice weather we're having, Tang says, as you walk outside. You look around. It seems pretty normal for the season. She clears her throat. It's so different here than it was in space, she says. Growing up in a spaceship was so clean and tidy. Here I'm constantly sweeping pollen or dust spores or whatever have you off of everything. There was a mushroom growing in the corner of the bathroom the other day. Yeah, it's gross here. Right, Tang says, her eyes wide. Everything is just growing, all the time, everywhere, with no plan. I hate even thinking about it. You walk for a few minutes. Tang clearly has something on her mind, so you let her sit with it until she finally steels herself. I'm not very good with this sort of thing, she says slowly. So, you know how I've been working on a big project with the chief engineer? Yeah? You nod, and she continues. Well, it's been going really well. I think we're finally over the last hurdle now. Lum says it's going to change everything in the colony for the better. You have a sudden vision of Lum unleashing a terrible disease upon the world, fields and forests where every living creature has died, complete and utter devastation. Only humanity remains, picking their way through the wreckage, their days numbered. You're on this path now, you're sure of it. For the betterment of humankind, Tang is working on something that's going to destroy the planet. Truly, I couldn't have done it without you, Tang says, a slight smile warming her usually expressionless face. I know I can be a hard person to be around, but I appreciate everything you've done for me, and ultimately for the colony and all of humanity. Do I stop the deadly plague she's creating, or do I make out with her? Tough choice. You've got to stop the experiment. I've got to stop what? She asks. I know about the engineered plague. Tang smiles, though it doesn't reach her eyes. It was only a matter of time, I suppose, she says quietly. Sometimes it seems like you know everything that goes on in the colony. Thank you, again, for your help, she continues. You really were instrumental in overcoming several hurdles, whether you knew it or not. I know the destruction you'll cause. Using what you can remember from your visions. Uh-oh, my biology. Dang it. Hang on. Oh, I don't have anything. Using what you can remember from your visions of another life, you explain to Tang how the virus will devastate not just dangerous animals, but all of Vertumna. Unchecked fungal bloom, the massive die-off of pollinators, global cooling creating chaotic weather patterns, the plants, the soil, everything. Tang listens to you intently. When you're done, she narrows her eyes, not quite ready to believe you. How do you know all of this, Yabby? It happened here thousands of years ago. Without mentioning the Overseer, you tell Tang about everything you've learned about the history of the Convergent Domain, and how they destroyed the planet and almost themselves, bringing all life on Vertumna to the brink of extinction. When you're finished, Tang looks at you with an incredulous expression. You knew all this? And haven't told anyone before? Yabby, this is an incredible scientific discovery. You shrug. It's not like anyone would have believed you, right? Tang pushes herself off the wall. This changes everything. I can't stop Governor Lum myself, but maybe the council would? We should at least buy ourselves some time to study this convergent domain, you said? Tang scrubs her hands over her eyes and turns to you. She looks impossibly tired, and for a moment, as young as she really is. Lum is forcing us to work on the virus, she says. I don't know what to do. Let's talk to him now. Tangent goes with you to confront Governor Lum. She looks scared. Lum is alone on the bridge. This is your chance to try and convince him to change course on this genocidal virus. As you stand outside the door to the bridge, though, you realize you've made a crucial mistake. You don't have any evidence. Confront him. Oh! I clicked the wrong thing. Let's try that again. Confront him anyway. Lum looks up from his holopalm when you enter. What is it? He snaps. I'm busy. Tangent raises her chin and takes a breath to steady her nerves beside you. You hope she's willing to go through with this. You tell Governor Lum that you know everything about the bioengineered plague he intends to unleash on the planet, how he pressed Instance and Tangent into creating it under threat, and how it will kill every living thing on Vertumna. Lum listens intently, his face growing colder as you speak. When you're done, he gives you a stern look. You don't understand what you're talking about, Yabby, he says. I'm the governor here. I make the decisions, not you. Tang will tell everyone what you did. Lum's eyes dart to Tang, who freezes up. Yes, she says, her voice shaking. I don't think what you're
making instant stew is right. I have all the lab notes, recordings of your meetings with her. She steels herself and stands up straight. Maybe we can't stop you, but if the whole colony knew that you're planning on killing the planet... I'm not killing the planet, Lum laughs. Just the dangerous animals. We'll be better off without them. We'll be able to expand across the planet without fear. People will be able to grow food, have families, build cities again. Tang shakes her head. No, that's not true, she says, pulling up something on her hollow palm. Look, in every one of our simulations, we haven't been able to remove the dangerous fauna without causing a complete ecological collapse. Lum starts to protest, but Tang talks over him. It can't be done, sir, she says quietly. Either you kill Instance for not creating the virus, or you kill everyone within a few years. Lum is uncharacteristically somber. If what you say is true, you've given me a lot to think about, he says slowly. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. You and Tangent look at each other, then back at Lum. That's it? Lum gives you an exasperated look. That means you can go, he orders. Leave before I change my mind and throw you in the brig. You've averted what could have only been the complete destruction of the Vertumnan ecosystem and saved Instance's life. You can breathe a little easier today. Phew, we did it! That's one problem solved. 55 and 57. So let's do one more thing with Nomi before we do anything else with the others. More engineering! Or robots. Dee signs on to work in the robotics lab with you this month. He's a solid, dependable partner, though a little more interested in the software of the bots than their actual bodies. He loves finding ways to tweak their programming to make them run more efficiently. Well, most of the time. Occasionally, a bot will come back within a few days with a work ticket detailing some small insubordination, and Dees will just smirk. It's never anything serious, and he always fixes whatever problem he introduced. That's funny, I like that. He's like, I'm gonna work, but I'm also gonna screw with you guys, and there's nothing you can do about it. Alright, I think I'm gonna head out one more time. Probably not hunting, but I will go foraging. There we go. Got more stuff. And now it is the dust. So we will be starting next time with Vertumnalia. But until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourself, watch out for engineered plagues, and have a good day.